Good morning, students, and welcome to the class. Today, we will continue the same chapter, Nelson Mandela. So, yesterday we talked about the oath taking ceremony of Nelson Mandela, the first black president of South Africa, and it happened in uh, 10th May. It was a historic occasion. The dignitaries and the representative of 140 countries came to attend it. So first Mr. De Klerk, the second deputy president, then Thabo Mbeki, the first deputy president, were taken the oath. Then Nelson Mandela took oath as the president. He pledged to obey and uphold the constitution and devote himself to the well-being of the republic and its people. So while addressing Nelson Mandela, the then President Mandela addressed the guests. He welcomed and thanked them for having come to take part with the people of his country for a common victory of justice, peace, and human dignity. After getting political freedom, his government pledged to liberate people from the bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discriminations. This is where yesterday we stopped. Now we'll see after the ceremony what happens after taking the ceremony. So after a few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in awe as a spectacular array of South Africa's just helicopters, troops, carriers rose in perfect formation over the Union buildings. So after the oath taking ceremony, it was time for the military force to salute the president. So here, Republic, we also see in the 26th January the display how the Air Force display the celebrate when we celebrate the Republic Day. So the same way the array, a display of colorful and attraction for the form. So it was made by the Air Force. It was not only a display of pinpoint precision and military force, but a demonstration of the military loyalty to democracy, to a new government that had been freely and fairly elected. So he is telling, Nelson Mandela is telling, it is not only a display, but it was also their loyalty and their respect for the democratic country, because I said the first time election took place and he got the full vote and majority, and he could able to make his own government. So that was the performance of the Air Force was their respect for him. Only moments before, the highest generals of the South African Defence Force and police, their chests decked with ribbons and medals from days gone by, saluted me and pledged their loyalty. So before that, before the display, the police, the defense minister, the generals, they took their oath to go by the new elected government. I was not unmindful of the fact that not so many years before they would have saluted but arrested me. Now he is recalling. Now, if it were to be few years before, would this army and the defense, the police could have gone? They could have arrested Nelson Mandela because of his fighting for the freedom. So he's telling the same people who arrested him, put him in the jail and persecuted him, now saluting. So he's telling, if it were to be few years before or time before, years before, what could have been happened? They could have those who are saluting me could have arrested me instead of that. Finally, Eshivon of Imla just left a smoke trail of the black, red, green, blue, and gold of the new South African flag. That also you have seen in the Republic Day display. So the national flag's colors were Shivon. It were put in a V shape form. They also performed. The day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthem, the version of white singing Kosi, Sikor, Africa, and black singing their stream. The old anthem of the Republic. So he's telling after the that display, what the national anthem of the white and the blacks were sang together by the blacks and the whites. So it was first time the blacks national anthem was sang by the white skinned people. Although that day neither group knew the lyrics of the anthem they once despised, they would soon know the words by heart. So the old, the black skins anthem were, though they did not know even the lyrics, but they learned it very fast. For them, despise, they consider us the national anthem of the black as a low opinion they had for their national anthem. But that also was sung and learned by the whites very soon, he's telling. On the day of the inauguration, I was overwhelmed with the sense of history. The first decades of the century, a 20th century, a few years after the bitter Anglo-Boer War and before my own birth. So now he is recalling, he is talking about the England and African War. When it is the year 1990 and 19 1900 1900 to 1910 in somewhat he is talking about. So he is telling him my own the on the inauguration of the day he is recalling, he is remembered of, and he is happy to recall the history what the history of the South Africa, the first decades of the 20th century. A few years later the war took place between England and Africa. The white-skinned people of South Africa patched up their differences and erected a system of racial domination against the dark-skinned people of their own land. So what happened after the war? The Africans were considered as slaves, and the England had an upper hand. The white-skinned people had an upper hand, and the racial demonstration against the dark-skinned people of their own land. The skinned people were ruling, and others they had a discrimination for them. The structure they created formed the basis of the hardest, most inhuman societies that the world have ever seen. It's telling after that war, after the Anglo-Boer War, what happened? The discrimination, the apartheid took place in the country. So that was he's telling it was the hardest and the most inhuman society which the people underwent, the people formed in that time. Now, in the last decades of the 20th century, that means in the 20s, he's talking about 8th decade, what happened, in the 80s, what happened. Now, when Nelson Mandela was born, and now at the 20th century, the differences now he's talking about. Now in the last decades of the 20th century and my own 8th decade as a man, that system had been changed. He's telling now when he was Nelson Mandela was a child, and now after many years when he got the freedom, two time and the differences. He's telling the struggle the people took at that time. Even ours also, when we study the history, before the independent, the people of the country had a very hard time, but after independent that entire thing changed. Same thing he is also talking about. Before the independence, the blacks were deprived from the rights. They were not allowed to go to the school. They were not allowed to do any job. So even they were not allowed to walk on the streets. But after the 20th century, the differences took place. That day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifice of thousands of my people whose suffering and courage can never be counted or repaid. He is recalling, he is telling the number of people who suffered for the freedom are now remembered. He is recalling the people who suffered for the freedom of the country. Now he is telling I'm recalling what he is talking about here. Why he is recalling? He is remembered of the people who sacrificed their life. He is telling, I cannot repay them. I cannot repay them. I cannot thank them because they are not. They are not now on this earth. I felt that day as I have on so many other days that I was just simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. He's telling, I am a simple drop in that number of people who sacrificed their life for the freedom. I am a single person in that, and who had who is able to see fulfill the dream. He's telling, how can I repay their sacrifice and their courage? I was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. That long and noble line ended and now began again with me. I was pained that I was not able to thank them and that they were not able to see what their sacrifice had wrought. Wrought means done. I was telling, I'm really sorry for those people because they were unable to see this day. So what Nelson Mandela is telling, he is thanking the people who sacrificed their life for the freedom of the African country. The policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. So he's telling the apartheid, the racial discrimination brought a deep and lasting wound in the mind of the country and of the people. All of us will spend many years, if not generations, recovering from that profound hurt. Profound hurt means deep hurt. He's telling people will take time to recover, to come back to that normal life. But the decades of oppression and brutality had brought unintended effect. That produced the Oliver Tambos, the Walter Sislus, and the Chief Luthers, the Yusuf Dadus, and the Bram Fishers, the Robert Subakus of our time. So he is mentioning the people who fought for the kingdom, who would fought for the freedom. He is telling, I'm sure the struggle produced these freedom fighters. The struggle of the pain produced these people. These are some of the prominent name of the struggle, the people who struggle for the apartheid. They are the people who gave their life for the freedom fighting during the African freedom fighting. So these are the names you have to remember. The men of such extraordinary courage, wisdom, and generosity that their like may never be known again. Perhaps it requires such depths of oppression to create such highest of character. Now he is telling, in order, taking the name of these freedom fighters, he is telling, in order to make such great people, he is telling, there requires a depths of oppression. They are oppressed so much. They were tortured so much, so they could come up with such good character. My country is rich in the minerals and germs that lies beneath its soil, but I have always known that its greatest wealth is its people, finer and truer than the purest diamonds. So as you know, this Africa is known for diamond, raw diamond. So what Nelson Mandela is telling the diamond which you get from the soil is not the diamond of the country. But who is the diamond of the country? The people of the country is the diamond of Africa. He is telling, my country is rich. I know that. The who is the main germs of the country? He is telling is the people are the main germs of the country, not the diamonds. The people are the diamonds of Africa. It is the form. It is from these comrades in the struggle that I learned the meaning of courage. Comrades means the friends. He is telling, from these friends only I learned what is courage. Time and again, I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for idea. He is telling, if some idea they come up and in order to make it complete, they are ready to give their life even. So he is telling, from this people I learned what is courage. Their courage was so much they were able to give away their life. I have seen men stand up to attacks and torture without breaking, showing a strength and resilience that defies the imagination. He is telling people could. Resilience means the ability to deal with any kind of hardship and recover from its effects. He is telling the people were tortured so badly, so hard, they never broke, they never bent before the torture and the attacks. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. So he is telling something very important thing here. Nelson Mandela is telling fear is not that you are not the absence of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear, but when you overcome the fear, that is your courage. That is when you without having a fear is not a courage. You have a fear, and when you are overcoming the fear, that is a courage. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid. The person but he who conquers that fear. So these are the things usually, this important thing. So learn for these things can become in the exam. So he's telling, I learned that courage from there. Where he learned the courage? For Nelson Mandela, courage is not the absence of fear, but overcoming the fear. No one is born hating another person because of the color of the skin, or his background, or his religion. So he's telling people when they born, they don't born as a person who hates, but people taught them to hate others. We are taught to hate others by their color, religion, or the society. So that's we learn from here. When the child is born, he doesn't know whom to hate or whom to love. He had only one nature, that to love. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes from naturally to the human heart than its opposite. It's telling a person is born with love because God has put in that person the natural nature of love. And from where he learned to hate, he learned hate from this world. After coming to the world, that person is taught to hate. So Nelson Mandela is telling, if a person is taught to hate, the same way that person also can be taught to love, because love is the natural nature of the person. That is natural, is his nature, it's love. A person's nature is love, and that person is taught to hate. So he's telling, if you can teach a person to hate, you can teach that person to love even. Even the grimmest times in the prison, when any comrades or I were pushed to our limits, I would see a glimmer of humanity in one of the guards, perhaps just for a second, but it was enough to pressure me to keep me going. Man's goodness is the flame that can be hidden, not ever extinguished. So he is telling, when Nelson Mandela was in the prison, he was tortured. Grimmest means toughest. He went through the toughest persecution. He went to the toughest oppression, torture. So in that moment he is telling, when everything is in darkness, a simple smile, a simple good compassionate look of a guard can keep me going. So in the guards, maybe some guards showed little compassion towards him. That simple thing made me to go in life. That means the compassion of the guards brought into the mind of Nelson Mandela that humanity is still alive. I would see a glimmer of humanity. Humanity means the humanity is alive in that guard. Perhaps just for a second. Maybe that happened for a second. But that taught me to bear everything for my people and my country. Man's goodness is flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. He's telling the compassion, the goodness of the people, the goodness of a person is just like a flame that is burning inside, that cannot be extinguished, that you cannot put off that. That is that flame slowly it will grow. So that's what we'll stop here. So just read, understand, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me.